The shop was old. It stood at the end of a cobblestone street, its wooden sign creaking in the gentle breeze. The paint on the sign had long since faded, leaving behind a ghostly outline of the words, "The Clockmaker's Shop." The windows were clouded with dust, and the wooden shutters hung askew, as if they had not been touched in years. Yet there was a certain charm to the place, a sense of history that whispered through the cracks in the walls. It smelled of dust and wood. The scent was a mix of aged timber and the faint aroma of old varnish. It was the kind of smell that told stories of countless hours spent crafting and repairing, of hands that had worked tirelessly to bring life to the intricate mechanisms within. The floorboards creaked underfoot, each step echoing through the quiet shop, adding to the atmosphere of timelessness. Cobwebs hung in the corners. They draped like delicate lace spun by industrious spiders who had made the shop their home. The webs glistened in the dim light, catching the occasional ray of sunlight that managed to pierce through the dusty windows. It was as if time itself had woven these webs, adding to the shop's aura of antiquity. It was filled with clocks of every size and shape. Grandfather clocks stood tall and proud, their pendulums swinging in a slow, steady rhythm. Mantel clocks with their ornate carvings sat atop shelves, their faces frozen in time. Pocket watches, each one unique, lay in glass cases, their intricate designs a testament to the craftsmanship of a bygone era. The ticking of the clocks created a symphony of time, a constant reminder of the passage of moments. A tall, thin man stood behind the counter. His posture was slightly stooped, a sign of the many years he had spent hunched over his workbench. He wore a simple, well-worn apron, its pockets filled with tools of his trade. His hands, though wrinkled and aged, moved with a grace and precision that spoke of a lifetime of experience. He had a long white beard and twinkling eyes. His beard flowed down to his chest, giving him a wise and almost mythical appearance. His eyes, though framed by wrinkles, sparkled with a youthful energy. They were the eyes of someone who had seen much, yet still found wonder in the world around him. This was Elijah, the clockmaker. He had been tending to the shop for as long as anyone in the village could remember. His knowledge of clocks was unparalleled, and people came from far and wide to seek his expertise. Elijah was not just a craftsman, he was a guardian of time, a keeper of stories that were etched into the very fabric of the clocks he repaired. His hands were wrinkled with age. Each line and crease told a story of years spent in meticulous labor. His fingers, though gnarled, moved with a deftness that belied their appearance. They were the hands of a master, capable of coaxing life back into the most delicate of mechanisms. They moved with precision as he repaired a tiny pocket watch. The watch was old, its case worn and its gears stiff from disuse. But under Elijah's careful touch, it began to tick once more. He worked in silence, his focus unwavering, his movements almost hypnotic. It was as if he was communing with the watch, understanding its needs and breathing new life into it. Elijah was a keeper of time. He understood its secrets. He knew that time was not just a measure of moments, but a tapestry of experiences, memories, and dreams. He had spent his life unraveling the mysteries of time, and in doing so had become a part of its endless flow. He also knew the magic that lay hidden within its gears and springs. To Elijah, each clock was a living entity, a guardian of moments long past, and a keeper of promises yet to come. He saw the beauty in their complexity, the elegance in their design, and the magic in their ability to capture the essence of time itself. Elijah's clocks were different. They weren't just ordinary timepieces you would find in any home or shop. Each clock was a masterpiece, meticulously crafted with an attention to detail that bordered on the obsessive. Elijah spent countless hours in his workshop, surrounded by the soft ticking of his creations, perfecting each one until it was just right. They were not just machines, they were enchanted. Elijah had discovered a way to infuse his clocks with a touch of magic, a secret passed down through generations of clockmakers in his family. This magic was subtle, almost imperceptible, but it was there, woven into the very fabric of the clock's mechanisms. Each tick and tock held a touch of magic. The pendulums swung with a rhythm that seemed to resonate with the heartbeat of the universe. The hands moved with a grace that defied the ordinary passage of time. These clocks were alive in a way that no other machines could be. These clocks could do more than tell time, they could rewind it. With a simple turn of a key, the hands would move backward and time itself would begin to reverse. It was a power that was both awe-inspiring and terrifying, a reminder of the delicate balance that held the fabric of reality together. A turn of the key could undo a mistake. Imagine being able to take back a hurtful word, to correct a wrong decision, to relive a moment of joy. The possibilities were endless, and the temptation to use the clock's power was always there, lurking in the background. It could relive a memory. The clocks could transport you back to a time long past, allowing you to experience it all over again. The sights, the sounds, the emotions, everything would be as vivid as it was the first time. It was a gift that many would give anything to possess, but the magic came with a price. The clock's power was not to be used lightly. Each rewind, each journey back in time came with consequences that could not be ignored. The fabric of time was delicate, and tampering with it could have unforeseen effects. Every rewind had a consequence. The more you used the clocks, the more the world around you would change. Small alterations could ripple outwards, causing events to unfold in ways you could never predict. It was a reminder that time was not something to be trifled with. Time, once altered, could never be fully restored. The past was a fragile thing, and once it was changed, it could never be put back exactly as it was. The clocks were a powerful tool, but they were also a reminder of the importance of living in the present, of cherishing each moment for what it was. Thomas was Elijah's apprentice. He was a young boy with sad eyes and a quick smile. He had come to the shop seeking refuge. He carried a burden of regret, a past he longed to change. Thomas was eager to learn. He spent hours polishing clocks. He listened intently to Elijah's stories. He dreamed of the day he could control time itself. One day, Elijah left Thomas alone in the shop. Elijah, the shop owner, was a mysterious man with a penchant for collecting rare and unusual items. His shop was a treasure trove of curiosities filled with objects that seemed to whisper secrets from the past. Thomas, a young apprentice, had always been fascinated by the stories Elijah told about the items in the shop. But today, something felt different. The air was thick with anticipation, as if the shop itself was holding its breath. He left a small silver key on the workbench. This key was unlike any Thomas had seen before. It was intricately designed, with delicate engravings that seemed to shimmer in the light. The key seemed to call out to him, beckoning him to uncover its secrets. Curiosity got the better of Thomas. He had always been a curious soul, eager to learn and discover new things. The key seemed to hold a promise of adventure, and Thomas couldn't resist its allure. He wondered what it could unlock, and what mysteries it might reveal. He picked up the key. As he held it in his hand, he felt a strange sensation, as if the key was alive with energy. It was as if the key was trying to communicate with him, urging him to use it. It felt cold and heavy in his hand. The weight of the key was surprising, given its small size. It was as if the key was imbued with a hidden power, waiting to be unleashed. He walked over to a grandfather clock. This clock was the centerpiece of the shop, an ancient timepiece that had stood the test of time. It was said to be the oldest clock in the village, and it had always fascinated Thomas with its intricate design and mysterious aura. It was the oldest clock in the shop. He inserted the key. He turned it. As he did, he felt a surge of energy coursing through him. The clock began to whir and click, its ancient mechanisms coming to life. Thomas held his breath, wondering what would happen next. The room filled with a blinding light. It was so bright that Thomas had to shield his eyes. The light seemed to envelop him, transporting him to another time and place. He felt a sense of wonder and awe, as if he was on the brink of a great discovery. When Thomas opened his eyes, he saw the past unfolding before him. He was no longer in the shop, but in a vast open field, surrounded by scenes from history. He saw ancient battles, grand celebrations, and moments of quiet reflection. It was as if the key had unlocked a portal to the past, allowing him to witness history firsthand. Thomas realized that the key was not just a simple object, but a gateway to a world of endless possibilities. Thomas was both terrified and excited. He could change things now. He could undo the mistakes that haunted him. He could rewrite his past. But doubt crept in. Was it right to change the past, even if it caused him pain? Would tampering with time unravel the very fabric of his being? Elijah had warned him about the butterfly effect. Every action, however small, had consequences. Rewinding time was not like erasing a mistake, it was like writing a new story with unforeseen outcomes. Changing the past might erase his pain, but it could also erase the good things, the lessons learned, the person he had become. The weight of the decision pressed down on Thomas. The silver key felt heavy in his pocket. He realized that the power to change time was not a gift, it was a burden. Could he live with the consequences of his actions? Could he bear the responsibility of altering the course of time, even for the better? Elijah returned to find Thomas pale and shaken. He knew what Thomas had seen. He placed a reassuring hand on the boy's shoulder. Time, he said, is not ours to control, but to learn from. He explained that true strength lay not in changing the past, but in facing it. It was in accepting the past and using it to shape a better future. Thomas returned the silver key. He decided to face his past, not change it. He learned to live with his regrets. He used his experiences to become a better person. The Clockmaker's shop, with its ticking clocks and magical whispers, became his sanctuary. He learned that time, like a flowing river, could not be dammed or redirected. It could only be navigated one moment at a time.